Cocktails with the Homies, guys. In this episode, we have a really good homie right next to me. This is going to be Joe Bruner. We're atop of the Symphony Towers at the University Club. Can you tell our audience a little bit about you?
Yeah, been bartending here for a few years now. First industry gig was over there, actually in Hawaii, at a restaurant. It was a Mexican restaurant in Hawaii, so you can imagine how that was. So I don't really qualify that too much. But right when I moved back to San Diego, went right into Born and Raised, helped open that, and that was my real first industry gig. I did every job over there under that restaurant, and then worked for the rest of the company down the street. Learned a lot from there. I'm very grateful for that opportunity, but just try to create memorable experiences making drinks.
Nice.
And
how was it in Hawaii, though? Like, how's the crowd different from San Diego? I heard the weather is pretty similar, but that's about it.
Yeah, very similar. Definitely different crowd. You have the tourist seasons, but they're there for a little while, and they don't really go out to eat too much.
Okay.
And then you have the locals, and the locals were they're used to people going there for 2 years and leaving, so they're not too much respect for you in that manner.
Okay.
Just kind of use you and abuse you in a sense. But really different time schedule. I was up at 6 a.m. and then the bars closed at like 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
So 9 or 10 p.m. So that was kind of the biggest difference there.
Okay, so it's like a pretty early city, right?
Yeah.
Or like town.
Got to get up and snorkel, and then you have your, your Spam and rice, and then you go have a margarita or a Mai Tai.
I mean, that makes total sense. And what motivated you to move on from Hawaii and moving to San Diego? Are you actually from Hawaii, or were you just living there at the moment?
Living there around the moment. I was born and raised up in Carlsbad.
Okay.
But my background started at hotel management. So I moved there to manage a hotel front desk, and then they changed the position over there. And then I moved into a restaurant out of necessity, and it was kind of just because I could manage and close a restaurant and lock the doors.
Totally. Someone with the responsibility, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all that while I would come back and visit, and my best friend is actually an executive chef in town.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot of restaurant from him, and that's where I kind of grew my love for food and the restaurant industry by just watching him grow and rise up in this world. And it was very inspirational, and I wanted to be a part of it. It seems more of a camaraderie than the hotel, and everyone's a tight-knit community, and so it's that whole family aspect of it that I really enjoy.
Nice. And I see that you worked in a bunch of Consortium Holdings restaurants.
Yeah,
Did you help open any of those?
Yeah, I actually was part of the opening crew for Born and Raised. I did 3 years there, I believe. Right when COVID ended, that was when kind of the whole job structure behind Consortium changed. But I lived right on India Street, across the street.
Okay.
And so I would go to Born, and then I'd go open Ironside, and I'd shuck oysters over there, and then go do prep at Craft, and then go close Born and Raised, and then finish off with a shot and a beer over at Waterfront.
Nice. I mean, I bet it was so nice living so close, especially having to work in Little Italy, because I love the area, and there's so many places that I would love to be there around all the time, but it's so hard to find parking, So it's
exactly.
Being able to live right next to it and just.
It was great.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, but they also knew where to find me.
There you go. I mean, all the time, right?
So I was always working.
How long were you working for Consortium Holdings?
So I did 3 years at Born, Craft, and then Ironside. And then COVID hit. Then it was a little bit of a break. And then I did almost a year at Morning Glory. But at that same time, I was working at Animae.
Okay.
So I would go open Morning Glory, and then I'd go expo at Animae. And then they wanted me to move up to bartender at Morning Glory. And then I told that to the Animae team. And they said, no, we don't want to lose you. Let's make you management over here. So I just kind of skipped that bartender step and went to the bar manager position at Animae. And then was there for a little while. That was a tough one because it opened and closed 2 or 3 different times.
Okay.
Because they were focusing on Urban Wood as their flagship. But we did really well at that spot. And then I left there and went to Barley Mash.
Yeah, and you were there for a minute too.
I was at Barley Mash for another year. And then my boss at University Club approached me and wanted me to move over here.
And what are the challenges now that you're working in a members only club? How does that translate from coming in from a like restaurant, hotel management, and then
Yeah.
moving on to like a whole like different aspect of the industry? Right now, you're like more of a members only.
Absolutely. It was a big change. I talk about it all the time still, and I've been here for almost 2 years. Barley Mash was probably the most well-run restaurant I've seen in a long time. They had their stuff together, and they go from 11 a.m. for brunch on the weekends till 2 at night, or 2 in the morning, if you will, for a nightclub. And you can imagine how that is in a nightclub scene, and then moving over here to the members-only club, where it's a different quality of people. I haven't told anyone one time to get off the tables. No one's dancing on the tables up here. But the flip side is they pay a membership due and they consider this their club.
Okay.
So they give me advice on how I should run my program and tell me, no, you need to do this and change the flowers in the bathroom. We don't like those. And from the restaurant perspective, if anyone would have said that to me,
You would be so angry.
I'd say, go find another bathroom.
It's not the place for you.
Right. I can't say that to people up here because they're here 5 days a week, and then you have these relationships with them, and so it's way different.
And it's definitely more of a personalized experience, right? Like it's
Absolutely.
like certain guests might be looking for something specific, and you have to provide that for them, right?
100%. We had a new member just join, and she made me bring on Martell Cordon Bleu Cognac.
Okay.
Because she will be here a lot more if she drinks it, or if I have it for her to drink. And I think I've sold her 2 glasses, but I still had to bring it on.
Of course, it's like you have to accommodate. It's like a different type of hospitality for what I see.
Exactly.
And it's more like is it more like a catering experience too? Like
100%.
more like
100%.
like curated like dinner and like
Yes.
cocktails or drinks.
Correct. Yeah, that too, plus all the private events at the same time.
And how you like it?
Private events was a shock for me. It's a big difference. I have never moved so much furniture in my life. And it's over here for one day, and then the next day we put it back, and then we move it back. And so it's I wasn't aware of that in the job description, but it's been a learning experience and another notch on my belt to put on the resume, which is really nice too. So always learning. Every day is a school day.
Now I want to go into this segment that we call Quick Fire with the Homies. So different cocktails side to side, see which one you prefer, then see, and also like show your perspective on why you prefer a certain cocktail,
Okay.
right? Well, we're going to start with an easy one.
Thank God.
Margarita or Paloma?
Hands down, margarita. The bitterness of that grapefruit is not really for me.
Okay.
It's just not my personal preference. I love the tart and the sweetness that comes with it, and the salt. I love the salt on the margarita rim.
Okay.
That's just
You
my...
might like more like the savory aspect of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's a good one. What about a Mai Tai or a Zombie?
So, my ritual, actually, was close down Born and Raised, make it over to False Idol at 150, get 2 zombies, and then go home.
Hey, that sounds like something I would do.
So, zombie for
Hey,
sure.
whoever knows me knows that's real.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love them both. Mai
Yeah.
Tai and Zombie, they're pretty good. But, sometimes you need to get there quick. Zombies will help you out.
Exactly right.
I mean, unless you're going to Bali High and having a Mai Tai over there. That's a different story, right? What about a Painkiller or a Brandy Alexander?
I'm going to go Painkiller. More on the tropical side still. I know there's a little bit of coconut cream, but I think the pineapple and orange juice that we add to that really, cuts right through it.
It's like velvety. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
I'm also a very big Painkiller guy, but like two creamy cocktails. I love a Brandy Alexander as well, but
Yeah.
I think that's more of a seasonal one, right? Like
Absolutely.
it depends on
a little
the moment.
desserty too.
Okay.
Inside.
What about last word or Naked and Famous?
So I was prepared for this question. I saw that one. That's a tough one too, because that Naked and Famous yellow chartreuse has like that special place in your heart, but that green chartreuse is, just above that one. So I'm gonna have to go last word.
Okay.
But I can't knock down the Naked and Famous at the same time.
Hey, I love them both too.
You're
It's
right.
like it's hard to choose from those two.
I'll take
like
a drink.
different-
Cheers.
Okay, and then have one more for you. Old fashioned or martini?
That's a good one too. I think old fashioned. I like the old fashioned. More of the brown spirits has spoke to me, especially after learning everything from Born and Raised.
Okay.
And having to do countless martinis tableside at that restaurant for people that have never had a martini before, and then send it back. It gave you that little sour taste in your mouth for a martini. But the old fashioned, I think I like a little bit more.
Nice. Well, thank you for your insight.
Yeah.
That was, I know there were a few that were a little tough, but
They
you know.
were definitely. Yes, exactly.
Well, now moving on. Can you give us a little bit more of insight into like what University Club stands for? Like, you know, what are you guys trying to achieve? Is there any more locations around the country?
Okay.
What are you guys like trying to
Yeah,
accomplish?
absolutely, for sure. So I work at University Club, but another company called Invited is more like the property manager, if you will. They're the ones that signs our checks. So there's 185 invited clubs nationwide.
Okay.
And at the same time, while there may be another university club of, let's say, University of Arizona, well, that's another good, the University of Columbia, they are not associated with us as a university club. But there's the City Club LA. That
Okay.
is also an invited club, so we're all kind of grouped into that together. There's stadium clubs, city clubs, and then country clubs.
And is it all like members only?
Yes, all
Okay.
members only, initiation fee. The country clubs are more geared towards golf. And so,
Hey, shout out to Julio who couldn't make it today. He's working at a country club playing golf every single day.
nice. So with that, and then we're part of the city club division.
Okay.
So it's a little different. We're open at 8 a.m. We start right away, and then we have a power lunch kind of deal, and then we do dinner service. So from 8 to 5 is really that co-working time. So we do the little kind of slogan is work, play, connect. And so it's a lot of networking done up here. You come at noon, there's laptops everywhere. Everyone's doing their meetings, quick little power lunch. They come up from the downstairs. So it's more geared towards that business side of things.
Okay.
Which leaves for a quick happy hour, and then kind of a smaller dinner service, Monday through Thursday. Everyone's out by 8:30.
So definitely, I would say that you're strongest on the private event side of it.
Yeah, that is definitely the driving force of the revenue behind the club. But for the actual daytime, this out here, a lot of members join because of the ebb and flow and the ability to connect and meet other members, which is also like that other separate factor of their membership dues, which
Okay.
is not talked about too much, but it definitely keeps the lights on for sure.
Okay, so you can meet more interesting people here.
Absolutely, and they are up here.
Nice. And what about do you have like a specific cocktail menu? Like,
Yeah, it's being part of a big corporation has also been a learning experience because we have mandates, corporate mandates, and they go for one mandate for all clubs for the whole company. So I have Twisted Tea as a mandate,
Okay.
because of all the country clubs on there, and then it ranges over to I have to have certain types of liquors for the cocktail menu as well.
okay.
So that is kind of like the cocktail program and it changes every 6 months.
Okay.
And so we give it'll flip and rotate. So that's fun to balance that out seasonally, which is kind of a challenge, but it works out pretty well, and we have some flexibility with it in terms of adding more to the list.
Okay.
But at the same time, you got to make sure you have those ones, and then it helps as a company nationwide on the back end to where we get our different pricing for certain things because it's in all the invited clubs.
Good.
But so that is and the cocktail program has been my favorite so far to work on that. I've never really had to do it before, and the higher ups are really have given me some autonomy with it, so it's been really nice to show some creativity with that.
I've seen you going around town doing competitions, and you just won one like last week or this week.
And what week is it? Yeah, it was on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tuesday. Yeah, how was that?
Definitely a life-changing experience for me. I've been wanting to do something like that for a while. I've been doing more and more competitions this past year, trying to get the university club out there. When I first started, I've never even heard of this place, and it's been around since 1909. And I'm a fourth generation San Diegan, so we're trying to get our name out there, do more competitions, be more in the public eye, and trying to get everyone involved with that. But I've did, what was the one before? Oh, with the guys at Swan Bar, we did the Kokomo one. That was a really fun time. But this main one at Urban Wood with Guy Fieri was the most nerve-wracking one so far. There was like 300 people in the room, jam-packed. It was Guy Fieri, and Brian Malarkey and Carlos Anthony. Quick fire rounds. All the competitors were amazing, really nice and friendly, and it was a little bit of a hectic run of how we ran the show, but it was nice to be able to show some creativity and put it out there, and I mean, just have fun. We were creating this experience. Everyone had a great time. And I think that showmanship that everyone brought to the table in terms of the crowd and how packed it was the biggest part of it. And that was what I've been wanting to do for a long time. So
Nice.
It was really nice to be able to be up on stage and do that. And, I mean, take home a W, which I'm still surprised.
Hey, you deserve it.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I mean, I've done my fair share of competitions in myself, you know,
Yes.
and I love him because, you get to like meet interesting people. It's a really amazing opportunity to network. And also, like, you get to see what other people are doing, right? Like, you learn from other people, like, oh, hey, I never thought about that. Hey,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And, like, I feel like competitions, low-key, make you better.
Right.
And then you also get to put your restaurant or your bar out there, right? And
Exactly.
represent, which
Exactly.
is, like, the cool part of it, I would say.
For sure.
Okay, moving on. I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
Like working at a members only club, what would you suggest would be the perfect bartender for, like, what values or characteristics would you put on a bartender for a members only club?
Members only club. It's as it to be expected when you think about that. As soon as you see Mr. Tom Lean walk through the door, you put a Coors Light in his hand because he drinks that every time. And then they start to expect it, and then all of a sudden it starts to work out to where it's really easy for you to be able to do that side of things, and then your job becomes easy. You know what to do right away. And the flip side also is creating relationships with certain guests and members to where this guy only drinks, overproof rye whiskey. And then you talk to him, you build this relationship with him, you gain your trust, and now all of a sudden you got him drinking last words because you were able to introduce him to this whole new side of things that you never would have been able to do because he trusts you and you have that relationship with him. And then like 6 months down the road, I can't believe I'm drinking cocktails now. I only drink rye whiskey, and then that helps you gain that. And then you start doing more and more stuff with them. A lot of my bartenders have actually worked private events for the members that host their own things at their homes or what have you. So it's very relationship driven as well. So that's kind of the main thing with this private club that I'm learning.
It's more like it's a different level of hospitality. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then showing that, like, especially up here too, like you can come up, people pay a lot of money to come just through the door. And then they want to have that experience. And so we are trying to do our best to overextend and make sure that we
Meet expectations.
Exactly, 100%. Or else they would just go to any restaurant down the street. Why spend so much money up here?
Exactly. Yeah, they get their personalized experience, right?
Absolutely.
Like, exactly. And also, for people that are starting in the industry, you as a person that's been all over the industry already,
Yeah.
What tips would you give people trying to like make it into the industry? You're probably becoming a bartender, or like they're facing challenges. Like, what would you recommend that people?
It's a great question. It's all about, I think, being a sponge. Every day is a school day. There's always a learning opportunity. And it's all around you, whether you're just passing by chef talking to the cooks in the kitchen about why we toast seeds instead of to bring out the flavor. Absorb it all, because now you have all this knowledge under your belt. Like, I've been in the industry a lot less than a lot of my mentors, and I'm still learning every time. But I think because of being able to be that sponge, that hard worker, anticipating the needs of what needs to get done to where your bosses don't have to tell you what's next, has been really helped propel me through this career and get me to where I am today. I think that's the biggest thing, is just appreciating the fact that it is a learning opportunity instead of, oh man, I have to go to work today. So I think that's probably the biggest advice I could give.
Nice. That's a really good piece of advice. For all of our viewers watching right now, would you like to go a little bit into, like, if they are interested in University Club, how could they, like, join or, like, find more information about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a director of membership named Mitch Seaman. He kind of drives the membership sales. Because of that, I don't have too much information. There's a lot of different numbers, different tiers of levels of memberships that we offer. If you're looking for golf or just to be here or what have you, there is an initiation fee, and then there's also monthly dues that range, I want to say, between $300 and $500 for monthly, and then the initiation fee, I couldn't tell you that, but it's because it's different for everything depending on what you're looking to get. But drop us an email, come up to the club, say hi. We'd be happy to work up a tour and show you around the club what we offer and see how busy it is during the day with different things that we do.
They also can find information on the
Online,
webpage.
yes. I forget about that one. But yeah, online is a big on the webpage for sure.
Nice. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Having a really good conversation with you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Cheers.
Cheers, man. And that, guys, was Cocktails with the Homies.